If visibility turns poor when you're out in the mountains, then using a bearing can be a real lifesaver. Well, stick around because I'm going to run through the basics of taking a bearing and also how to actually use it on the ground around you. Hi, my name's Jack and welcome to the Summit Fit YouTube channel. If you're into adventure and getting out into the mountains, then make sure you hit the subscribe button below so you don't miss out on any of our upcoming videos. If, when you're out in the mountains, reaching your destination becomes tricky because of poor visibility, or say for instance, something is obscuring your view of where you need to get to, then taking a bearing can be a great way to safely reach that point. Before we get started, I want to know if you've been in a situation that has been a bit tricky because of the weather or because of poor visibility, or if in fact you've actually had to use a bearing and under what circumstances did you have to use it. Make sure you pop it in the comments below. When you go to take your bearing, it is important to know exactly where you are on the map. Once you know where you are on the map, and also where your destination is on that map, use the compass and line it up between the 2 points. Make sure when you do that, the base plate on the compass is pointing in the correct direction. It's important that that is pointing in the direction that I want to travel in, otherwise I could find myself walking in the exact opposite direction. Once you've got your compass lined up, you then need to rotate the bezel on the compass so that the lines in the bottom line up with the lines running from south to north on the map. Again, it's important that the red arrow in the bottom of the bezel, that's the one pointing north, is also pointing to north on the map. Now, to just make things a little bit livelier, there are 3 different kinds of north. You've got your grid north, that's the north on the map. You've then got your true north, which is where the North Pole is located. And finally, you've got your magnetic north, and that's the north to which the needle in your compass is going to point. Now, this actually does change from year to year, so it's important that you research exactly what that difference is for the area that you're going to. And you may need to plus or minus a few degrees either way to compensate for that slight change. Once you've done this and you've got your bearing, you can then pop your map back in your bag or in your pocket for the time being and turn to your compass. What you're going to want to do is hold your compass out in front of you and do what's called setting red to bed. So that is that you line the red needle, that's the part of the needle that points north, up with the red part of the bezel on your compass. Now, when you're doing this, it's important to make sure you've got no metal items in your pockets, such as, I don't know, like a mobile phone, or if you're into wearing chainmail when you're out in the mountains. These kinds of things are going to have a bit of an effect on the needle in your compass, so you're going to need to pop them to one side or back in your bag for the time being. Once you've rotated yourself so both yourself and your compass are lined up correctly, you can then look dead ahead and try and identify a feature that exists on the line of travel you're going to be going on. So that is a feature that your compass is now pointing at. It may be a tree, it may be a rock, it may be a particularly outstanding tuft of grass. You'll soon be able to find something that you can use. Once you've located and identified that feature, you can then pop your compass to one side or hold it to one side and walk to that feature. When you get there, you then need to take your compass back out and repeat the process. So line the needle back up, try and identify another feature further down the line and walk to that. Now, of course, in good visibility, you might be able to identify something that is much further away. But in poor visibility, in foggy or cloudy weather, or if, for instance, you're going over the brow of a hill, you may need to do this in much shorter stints. But it is just a case of repeating the process until you get to where you're going. So that's just a few hints and tips on how to take a bearing and also how to actually use it when you're out in the mountains. Like I say, if you've had any experience with using a bearing in the mountains, please let us know about it in the comments below. And if you've enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and hit subscribe. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you next time.